Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
But like there was a really long pause there. Like you were considering whether or not I was your bestie because I left you this
I was
week.
considering whether or not to address the fact that once again we had a delay in 1 minute book recs.
We did, but it's the last one where you and I are not going to be together for the most part, I think, for like 6 months.
Okay, so we should be on time for 6 months.
Unless you and I are somewhere together. But I don't have any vacations planned like with the husband or anything, so. Yeah. Okay, so should be good. I won't leave you anytime soon. Mm-hmm. I'll actually go with you. All right, guys. So this is our 1 minute book recs. This is where we talk about all the books that we've read over the past week with 1 minute synopsises for each book. So before we get started, Mandy,
make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can find out all the ways to be entered to win some free books from us. Mm-hmm. Also, hit the like button if you like our videos. It makes us happy. And leave us a comment. How was your reading week?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a reading week and a half.
Week and a half.
Since we're late.
I'm sorry, but we're still just going to talk about our week. We still break it down. You're still just getting a week of book recs. So,
yes.
How was your reading week up until when I left you?
It was pretty good. I read 6 books, 2 are a duet.
Okay.
So I have 5 to talk about.
And
I have 35 books to talk about this week.
No, because this trip is split, you know, like we are the way our weeks end on a Saturday morning, like Friday night's the last one. They're split. So I have 10 books. No, sorry, I read 9, but I'm going to talk about 7. So, okay. 10 just feels like a better number. And like the reason I'm not talking about the other 2 is I read them before, they were rereads. We just don't need to talk about them all over again. So yeah. Okay. So let's talk about it. Get that timer going
first. I've got the timer.
Okay.
Ready? Begin.
Go. Okay. So the first book that I read this week was Runaway Queen by Mila Kane. This is the second book in her duet that I read, her Maid of Mayhem duet. So this is book 2 in that duet. I read book 1 last week, so go watch that 1 minute book recs if you want that one. But this is a Mafia. He's Bratva. She is Italian Mafia, and he is crazy, like crazy. And in the first book, we saw how they kind of got together, how they were thrown together. And what happens with their relationship. And this is the conclusion of that. But this one starts out with our crazy hero, Nico, in prison, and he believes that Sophia is dead. And so it kind of starts with there. It starts with all the angst and the drama, and then we lead on. We just go on from there. So I did enjoy this one quite a bit. I enjoyed both the duet itself. I gave it 4 stars. Definitely worth reading. And then there's like another set of books that is the brother story that actually you're supposed to read before this one. Or you can read before this one, but just to put that out there, it's there. So I liked it. Okay.
You beat the timer.
I did. There wasn't a lot. When it's a duet like this and you can't say much because then you give away what happens, like that makes it hard. Yeah. So,
all right. Okay. So my first book is a book off of my October TBR. Go me.
Okay, go you.
Okay. All right. So this is Dark Obsession by Hope Ford, and it is part of her Whiskey Men Wounded Heroes series. This is book number 2, but I believe they all can be read as standalones. My book closed on me. Okay, no. So this is Jason. He has been wounded in the military, and he has lost his sight about 2 years ago, I think. And he's been waiting. The doctors keep telling him it might come back, it might come back, it might come back. And so he's just kind of been in this waiting game of waiting for his sight to come back. And he meets Olivia. And Olivia really likes him and is like instantly attracted to him and just likes him as a person. But Jason's pretty guarded, and he really likes Olivia. He becomes very kind of obsessed with her, but not in like a stalkerish way. But in being obsessed with her, he wants like the best for her. So he is very concerned about what it would mean for her to be with him since he's blind. And he just really questions kind of his self-worth in a relationship with her. And so there you have it. 4 stars.
4 stars. Awesome. Okay.
I felt like it's a shorter book, so it felt like some stuff was a little too rushed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was a shorter book.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, that happens, right?
exactly.
Okay. So you knocked one off your TBR. So did I with my next book.
Ooh, good
So
job.
this one that I read is Haven by Clara Kent. The audio just came out this past week, so I listened to it. It is novella length, so it didn't last that long. I want to say it's like 160 some pages. It's not very long. But this is post-apocalyptic. This is number 1 in her Kindle series, but I actually look at it as number 2 because Last Light really should be number 1, but that's a whole different story. So this is about Jackson and Faith. Jackson and Faith are technically foster siblings. The end of the world has happened. An asteroid hit the earth. Everybody's died. Jackson was living on their farm as her foster brother when the world went to pot. When it just went to crap. And so what they've done since her parents have now died and everybody around them has died, they've taken this farm and it's like a refuge for people, for survivors. There's a wall built around it. And there you go. Jackson and Faith have had a friends with benefits relationship for a while now, for about a year. And this is kind of their story. It's friends to lovers. It's just, it was 4 stars. It was okay. I think Last Light was better in my opinion. I'm looking forward to the other ones. This isn't a trope that I absolutely love. Was the book good? Yes. It's just not one of my favorite tropes. So I did enjoy it, but I just, I need a little more. That's why I don't like Friends to Lovers as much, because I just go, what's the big deal? Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, but it was still good.
Okay.
Okay. What's your next book?
Okay, my next book is my Duets, and this is Thorns of Lust and Thorns of Love by Eva Winners. And this starts off with Tatiana and Adrian, and they are in a car, and Adrian is speeding away from people who are after them. And we don't really know why, but they're like shooting at the car, and Tatiana is like panicking, and the car wrecks, and Adrian is killed. And somehow Tatiana is pulled from this wreckage and taken to a hospital and treated, but nobody knows how she got there, and she can't remember how she got there either. So this leads to Tatiana. Her husband has been killed. She truly loved her husband. This is Mafia, by the way. And she starts to spiral pretty hard. Like, I mean, she is drowning in a bottle, barely functioning. And this is when Constantine starts coming around, and he is obsessed with her, loves her deeply. She has no idea who he is. And he wants her. That was my timer.
Okay.
When we were laughing.
Okay.
But he wants to like wait until she's like over her husband a little bit. But yeah, she's spiraling pretty hard. So much is going on in these 2 books. It's Mafia. So just a lot is happening. And you don't know what is going to happen next type situation. Really good. Solid 4 stars for both books.
Okay. Awesome. So my next book was one that we were told about when we were in Canada at the Romance Invades the Rockies. I haven't read anything by this author until then, and someone was like, you have to get her post-apocalyptic book. By the way, there's going to be a post-apocalyptic theme this week with my reading. I'm just saying. So I picked it up. This is Dying to Love by Reese Rivers, and I am so glad that I did. So this actually comes off my this is my October TBR. Oh my gosh, August TBR as well. So I just go back and got that. I know I'm dropping. There's things that are falling out of it. Okay, anyhow, Dying to Love. So this one is actually reverse harem, and that doesn't always work for me when it comes to post-apocalyptic, but this one it did. So this is about Kelsey. So when the world died, like when the zombies, they got zombies in this one. So when the zombies rose up, she and her 4 friends, there were 2 couples that were with her, all took off together. They got this homestead. They went to like the RV store and got these giant old RVs, and there's like a fence perimeter around where they're at, and they're protected. And it's been almost 2 years since the world went to pot, and she is just she's trying to survive. Her friends have like went on a trip and never came back. She's losing her mind. She hasn't talked to another human being for over 400 days. She's just really like she sees her best friend who has passed away, and she has full-on conversations with her. She's having a hen party with the hens, like with the chickens. So like she's really starting to lose her mind. And then one day, 5 guys scale her wall, and one of them is badly injured. But she, I loved this. Like, I loved it. There's so much more to the story than just like bang it out because there's like 4 guys to 1 girl, right? So you would think that that's what it would be about. I mean, of course, there's things that happen, but this is about a person healing after going through all this trauma, and they all have their own trauma, and it's just so good. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. Kind of wish there was more, but this is the only one.
Okay.
All right. What you got?
All right, my next one is an ALC that I received. So Savannah Peachwood, who I really love, and Sebastian York, who's another favorite narrator, narrate this. And this is part of the Single Dad's Playbook. It's book number 2 by Willow Esther, and this is Secret Love.
Okay.
So we have True, who's new to town, and she is just trying to find somewhere to settle. Her family moved a lot, and she's just ready to find a small town and kind of settle down. So she comes to this town hoping to get a teaching position. So she starts off as a substitute, and she runs into this guy in the grocery store, and she is quite taken by him. And then she sees him again when he comes into her classroom that she's subbing for this teacher, right? And he comes in and starts yelling at her, basically, or kind of chastising her, I guess would be a better way, about her teaching. Well, he wasn't meaning to talk to her. He actually wanted to talk to the actual teacher. She's the replacement for that teacher. And this is kind of where their relationship starts. He is a little bit older. He's a pro football player. He is a single dad, but the girl, for 3 girls, but the girl's mom is still in the picture. They're co-parenting very well. They actually have a very solid, good co-parenting situation, but he still has the girls quite a bit, and therefore is part of the single dads club, and they meet together and have this playbook. It's really quite endearing. I really enjoyed that part of the story. And then we have the fact that it's secret love because she's trying to keep her really new teaching job, and he's a parent to her student. And so it's kind of like one of those, I don't want to cross this line right now type situation, which I think we could all understand. So really enjoyed this one. The narration was just wonderful. So solid 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. And I am going to go back now and read the first book in the Single Dads Playbook series, because I just really enjoy that whole storyline with the single dads and writing in the notebook together. It's really quite, it's endearing. I loved it. So I want to go back and read the first one.
Good. All right.
I have a twitchy eye. I'm so sorry.
You need more sleep, right? Is that what that means?
Or I need to eat a banana. I need potassium.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right. So I took a break. Oh my gosh. Okay. Took a break first from between the post-apocalyptic stuff that I was reading to read something a little bit more, I want to say lighthearted, but right. This is me we're talking about. I picked up an Omegaverse. I picked up Don't Puck With My Heart by Sarah Blue. This is the second book in her, it's a hockey series. They're all Omegaverse. I can't remember the first one's called, but I really liked the first one as well when I read that one. But this is about Piper. She is a female alpha, and she is in her last year of surgical residency. She's been pushed to become a neurosurgeon because that's what her father is, and there's a lot of pressure on her. And then you have Alexei, who is a hockey player, and he is the captain of the team where Piper's best friend was the heroine from the first book, and she married a few of the hockey players on that team. So that's how they had that connection. So they run into each other when they do group activities or there's parties or whatever at the house. And so Alexei is an alpha as well, and there's something there's something between the two of them. Like, he just really wants her. He is just attracted to her, even though she's an alpha, not an omega. And then you have the new goalie who is brought to the team, and that is Owen. Owen is an omega, but the NHL doesn't allow omegas to play in hockey, and so he has to keep his designation a secret. But there's attraction between the three, and there's something going on there, and is good. So 4 stars. There's a lot that happens in this book. There's more to it than what it sounds like. There's an actual storyline. But it was good. Really good. I want to read the 3rd one. I think the 3rd one just came out not too long ago. So what you got next?
Okay, my next one is another ALC. And this is the first in the Coach Vegas Aces series. So this is Rivalry by Lisa Suzanne. And we have Jolene and Lincoln. And so Samantha Brentmore does Jolene. And oh my gosh, as you guys know, if you've seen our video with where we interview her, I love her so much. And then Erin Shedlock. So the narration is just knocked out of the park with these two. So Jolene is a journalist, and she is told she's working in the sports world with the Vegas Aces, and she is told by her boss that you need to become best friends with the new coach that they're hiring. And she finds out that it's most likely going to be Lincoln Nash, and she does not like him. They have a family rivalry between the two of them. There's something that's happened. It sounds like they used to be. There's hints that they were together, and there was heartbreak, and there was this family rivalry that tore them apart. And we find out more about all of this as the first book goes along. And I was driving back from Costco listening to this, and all of a sudden, Samantha just stops talking for Jolene. And Audible comes on and is like, we hope you've enjoyed this. And I'm like, what happened? Like, it skipped ahead? No, that is just where it ended. I know, it's 5 books.
Oh.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah. Okay. Rude.
I posted about it, and Lisa Suzanne, I have to say, I've been binging a lot of Lisa Suzanne. I really enjoy her sports romance. And anytime I post anything, she always responds and says thank you. And I get authors are busy and they're going to miss some, but I just find it very nice that she always makes time to respond and thank us for posting and talking about her stuff. Yeah. And so when she responded, I was like, how could you do this to me? She sent back like a laughing emoji and said the next one should be coming soon. So this for you guys comes out on, it will already be out. It comes out on the 8th, and this is coming out on the 10th. So the first one will already be out. So make sure you go check this out.
Okay. All right. So the next
5 stars. Forgot to say that in case you didn't understand from all of that. 5 stars.
Okay. I'm like, I didn't hear that. So
for the next one.
Okay. All right.
Your turn.
So the next book that this one I listened to while we were doing stuff at the campground. So this is Crimson River by Devaney Perry. I'm working my way up to that last one. So this is book 5 in the Edens. There's 6 books in her Eden series. So this is about Lila, who is one of the sisters. She's one of the twins. She runs the coffee shop in town. She's out of all the kids, there's only 2 left who have not fallen in love and developed a relationship. But she is a little bit of a workaholic. She has the coffee shop and the bakery, and she loves what she does. Like, she loves her coffee shop and her bakery, but she hasn't taken any time for herself. And so her twin sister pulls this intervention, is like, you need to go on a hike. Just get out of here for a while. So she goes hiking, and when she gets to a river, there's a guy at the river, and he attacks her and he tries to strangle her. Now she gets away and she's able to get back to town. But once the APB goes out that this happened, it goes out nationwide, and that brings Vance to town. So Vance is in law enforcement, and he has been trying to hunt down this guy who he believes that this person is for several years. This guy and him have a connection, and he's trying to figure out what happened that put this person on the run. And it's like a whole thing. I give it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. It was way more suspenseful than the previous books. I felt like Indigo Ridge was suspenseful. The other one's not as much. And then this one is very suspenseful. And I saw somebody was like, oh, she on Goodreads, she totally just, rewrote Indigo Ridge, which is the first book in the series. And I totally don't think that. I don't think that person actually read the book, because yes, it has some of the same suspenseful feels, but it's not the same storyline at all. So I really enjoyed it. And that person needs to actually read the book. So, okay. All right. What you got? I know. Well, come on.
Okay, so in keeping with your post-apocalyptic theme, I have one that you are definitely going to want to read.
Okay.
And everyone out there should definitely mark their calendars. I got this as an ARC. I'm so excited to have been a part of the team for this one. So this is part of the Earth. I want to make sure I say this right. Surviving Earth Chronicles. So Kay Webster and Lindsay Pogue each wrote a standalone in this same world. So
Yeah.
they each wrote about a brother, kind of on different parts of the country and what was happening. So this one I'm going to talk about today is Skies of Fire, and next week I will talk about Waves of Fury, but definitely mark your calendar for October 15th for these. So
All right.
Skies of Fire by Lindsay Pogue. This is Ava and Knox's story. So Ava is just, I lost my nose. Ava Okay, let me back up for a second. So, where Earth got hit by this asteroid about 50 years ago, and not Earth, the moon. Oh my God. Let me start this part over, Jessica.
Okay.
Jeez, I'm going to start my timer over because I'm just blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Skies of Fire by Lindsay Pogue. So, about 50 years ago, an asteroid hit the moon, knocked it off its axis, and now the world has just been kind of in dire straits, and things are really starting to act up. They have volcanoes, there's sinkholes, there's earthquakes, they're just all ravaging Earth, and things are getting really bad in Texas. And Ava is all alone, and she is in desperate need of her medication. And so she goes to try and get some supplies and things like that. She runs into Knox, who is also trying to get supplies. And some things happen that force the two of them together to try and survive and get out of Texas together. But it's not just Mother Nature that they have to be worried about. It is also other people who are also trying to survive, and it's kind of a free for all, and things get pretty intense, and I'll be honest, a little terrifying at times in this post-apocalyptic world. And also interesting to note is that Ava and Knox do not get along. Knox's family really kind of has it out for Ava and her family. And so this has definitely got like some strong enemies to lovers vibes. Love this so much. It solid 5 stars. Really, really good.
Okay. I do love me some good post-apocalyptic. I can't wait to read that. Okay. So my next book is not post-apocalyptic. It's Mafia, but I mean, come on. So I mentioned earlier when we started that Mila Kane had another duet that happened before the one that I read about the crazy guy. And so I went and read that one. So this is Wicked Air by Mila Kane. So this is the first book in the duet. I haven't read the second half yet, but this is about Kirill and Mallory, or he calls her Molly. So they knew each other as kids, and they were in their late teens, and they really liked each other, and things were happening. And then all of a sudden she disappears, and he thinks that he thinks she disappeared. She thinks he disappeared. And so he is now a part of the Bratva, and he is out for revenge. Like, he is going after her for things that he thinks that she's done. She has been looking for him for years because he was the love of her life, and she wants to know where he is. She's told everybody he's the love of her life. Well, when it comes to revenge, he really just wants to lock her up in his penthouse and keep her and make babies with her. But apparently that's a bad thing. I don't know. So this is their story. I gave it 4 stars. I really see nothing wrong. A rich man wants to lock you up in his penthouse. I have no problem with that at all. Give me a library. I'm good. So I do want to finish the duet. It was really hard to choose books this weekend because there was just so many that I loved that I was really wanting to get into that, so yeah. All right. Okay. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. So for my last book, this one's dystopian. So yeah, we do have a theme this week. So this book has recently come out, I think within the last month. This is Born for Silk, and it's by Nikki Harris. It's the start of a new series for her. Her Cradle series. I think right now there's planned to be 3 books in this series. I can't wait for the next book. So this is about Aster and Rome. So this takes place way, way, way in the future. And because of bioengineering and like changing our DNA and the people, you know, to be better, and global warming and all that stuff. The world has just kind of, it's imploded on itself. And so this is really hard to understand because you really have to like read that there's a glossary. It reads kind of sci-fi, but in this world, Rome is the king, and they have women who are bred just for their uteruses. And so this is what they said that this is like the author Nikki says that this is a cross between Beauty and the Beast and The Handmaid's Tale, and it really, really is. She becomes his silk girl, and that means that she's supposed to carry the heirs of the king, but like, you know, it's a romance, so they gotta fall in love. Like, I'm doing a really crappy job of explaining this, but it was so good. I gave it 5 stars. Cannot wait to read the next. It took me a hot minute to get into it, but if you can, just because it came with like this 3-page glossary where I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm more of the type of person that I need to just dive into it and figure it out as I go. So I kind of felt a little overwhelmed at the beginning, but once I got past like that 15% mark, then I was in it to win it. And it was great. So just stick with it. I promise it'll be good. So really, really good.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for our week.
That is it for the week.
Okay.
All right. Well, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And also hit the notification button because we do like to have extra like surprise videos coming.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.